Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Burkhart with Oracle. Thanks for joining our webinar today. With me today is John Salceda from Moody Bible Institute and Robert Stewart from Apex IT. We're going to have a discussion today about modern marketing and how that affects higher education. My name is Joe Burkhart with Oracle. I'm Director of Higher Education Solutions at Oracle, and we'll go ahead and get this started. So, higher education and its students are entering a drastically new time. It's almost a convergence of perfect storms, actually. The rapid advent of mobile, the rapid uptick of social, and the rapid expansion and use of technology is powering drastically different expectations from our students. And they're using this technology to do a lot of things that we never anticipated as we've been managing our interactions with students for the past 10, 15, 20, or even 500 years, because really some of our student experience paths haven't changed in a long time inside of higher education. And those are starting to get out of sync. There's a lot of things that are coming together that we need to start thinking about how we manage a student experience as opposed to about how we manage students through our institutions. In order to accomplish that, we really must start to understand what our audience wants. And not wants as a whole. Well, actually, we do need to understand what they want as a whole, but we need to understand what they actually want at every specific point in time in their journey, and those sub-steps that are in their journey, whether it's completing a particular business process, from deciding where to attend, to deciding which classes to enroll in, to deciding if it's a large campus, where to eat lunch or dinner on campus, to figuring out what they want to do as they engage with us post-degree as an active alumni, or maybe even going through continuing education. And we need to understand that for each individual audience member, as opposed to understanding it or trying to think we understand it for a large group. But part of our challenge as we do that is dealing with this proliferation of applications. We have data on students in dozens of systems. We have data on prospective students, and even more, and data on our alumni and graduates, and even more of those systems. And in order to deliver this really personalized experience, personalized more than what we've really thought of in the past, we really need to get a handle on where all that data is and how we start to manage that. So institutions and the people who are in charge of trying to manage this experience across the entire student life cycle and this journey that they're on are struggling with this vast amount of data. They've got all the data that comes from your internal systems. They've got data that comes from outside systems that you may be partnering with. It could be, the College Board or ACT or listservs for recruiting students. And then you've got, all kinds of other third-party data that you may be gathering. That could be from social media monitoring and from elsewhere. And now we have the ability to not only take a look at that data that's coming in the form of lists and data enhancements, but we can also start evaluating the behaviors that we're getting from those students, whether or not they're opening our emails, whether or not they're actually participating in class, whether or not they're watching videos that we've posted, and if they've rewatched them or not. And it becomes a real challenge to sort this out and understand what information is valuable and what information is not valuable that will drive our positive student experience. And the result, unfortunately, for higher education is a frustrated and broken experience internally, and that transfers to a really disconnected student experience for the student going through our institutions. There's more blog posts, more data to evaluate, and as we start trying to utilize that, it can get really confusing for the people who are trying to manage the student experience. So at Oracle, we've tried to adapt things into modern best practices. And what I'm showing you here is our 5 tenets of modern marketing in higher education. And we need to think about marketing as being broader than just selling a service or a product to our constituents in higher education. It's broader than just recruiting new students and broader than just developing them as alumni. Marketing now touches every aspect of a student life cycle, from prospective students to current students to our graduates and our alumni. And to a great extent, we have to think about how we're marketing them and engaging with them at every point in contact for a life cycle that may span 40, 50, 60 years for being alumni. So our 5 tenets of modern marketing start with identification. We need to identify what's unique about each individual student and what they're trying to accomplish at this point in time, and from that, what type of content or what type of activity or process do we need them to complete. And from that identification, we need to engage with them in a meaningful way, not be reactive to them, not overwhelm them with content and information, but deliver to them just the specific content they need to perform the actions that they need to do at that point in time. And from that, we need to empower them to act through the channel and at the time that they want to act. That may be at 2:30 in the morning to complete a registration process. It may be at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to call their academic advisor. And it may be through a variety of channels. And then we need to keep evaluating the success of these engagements, the success of these empowerments, the success of the identifications, and continually enhance those so that we continually improve the content that we're delivering to them and the experience that they are having. And all that is supported by modern marketing technology, which is what we're going to talk about today. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to John to talk a little bit about what they're doing at Moody and what they're going to be doing in the future. So John, take it away.
Well, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. Here at Moody Bible Institute, we've been engaged in the CRM experience through Oracle for several years now. If you look at us as an organization, we have 3 operating divisions, education being our primary, but along with that, we have a broadcasting operation that has over 30 owned and operated radio stations across the country. We've got a publishing house with 1,000 titles in an active publication. And those 3 operating divisions work in unison for one thing, and that's educating our students. Across our campuses, we have our primary campus in Chicago, as well as branch campuses in both Spokane and Detroit. We've got an undergraduate program as well as a seminary graduate program. We're considered a fairly small school, about 3,500 full-time students, and we've been going at this thing since 1886. Our Oracle footprint is immense. We have a very strong partnership from an ERP perspective with Oracle. From a financials perspective, we're running eBusiness Suite, and everything else on our campus is running under the Oracle PeopleSoft umbrella. So Interaction Hub, Campus Solutions, HCM, Oracle Marketing Cloud, and Oracle CRM for higher education. And today we're going to be focusing primarily on what's taking place from a CRM perspective, as well as the Oracle Marketing Cloud perspective. And as we looked at our landscape, we had to really ask ourselves, how do we as an organization easily consolidate all the email, all the outreach that we've got going on so that we can have a better unified automation that allows us to better manage prospects as well as current constituents. So for us, on our campus, we found that many people in our organization, many departments were using other online marketing tools like Emma or MailChimp to reach our constituents. And these rogue systems were basically driven by the need to create outbound communications that were easily implemented and things that turned around quickly. At the same time, our users were looking for analytic tools that were feature-rich to help them understand how we're doing in our marketing efforts. And what we determined was that we needed a marketing system that allowed our staff to work in a very nimble environment. And over the course of our experience with Oracle CRM for higher education, we found that that on-premise tool was highly rigid. It was highly complex. It was difficult for our users to use, which in turn moved us to consider marketing in the cloud. And as Oracle continued to see advances in that area, that caught our attention. And we began to slowly make that migration from an on-prem solution to a cloud-based solution. However, we couldn't make a solution like that strictly overnight. We determined that for us, for the next, at this point in time, the next 14 to 16 months, we really needed to create a hybrid solution. So we've got our on-premise solution as well as our cloud solution, and right there in the middle is what we were calling our hybrid. For us, that was that middle ground for our enterprise that allowed data from our on-premise CRM system to integrate nicely with the cloud data, which meant that we could take full advantage of driving our business forward. And Oracle Marketing Cloud lended itself really well to allowing us to keep certain functions on-premise while at the same time adding others to the cloud. We saw that through the utilization of marketing as a quick time to value, the flexibility to quickly adapt to changing business needs, and that by creating this two-tier hybrid strategy, it gave us here at Moody the opportunity to provide a far more agile cloud-based solution that gave our business areas a system to focus on ease of use and more flexibility to meet user needs. So as we considered all the things that needed to take place, we looked at a roadmap that started quite simply with, let's get things up, let's get things running. And from that perspective, we led with our broadcasting division. Now, the broadcasting division has some pretty cool features with regards to what they're trying to accomplish with their user base. We have these listeners of these 30 owned and operated stations, and we ask them to support Moody Bible Institute. We ask them to support the radio programs they're listening to. We ask them to support our student endeavors. And the reason that's important is that we have a very unique feature here at Moody, and that is in our undergraduate program, for all our students on our Chicago campus, they pay no tuition. So in order for us to fund that donor-paid tuition, we need to be very, very active in seeking to create a donor base that is engaged with us on mission. And our first step was marketing automation through our broadcasting donor relations. And that went into effect about a year ago. Starting next Tuesday, our publishing division launches a brand new website. Traditionally, our publishing division marketed to our mid-tier market, to resellers, and had very little interaction with a business-to-consumer environment. Well, that all changes when we launch a new website that is going to be specifically pointed for consumers to purchase products directly from our publishing division. When that takes place, marketing automation goes into phase 2, which allows us now to create content that targets existing customers as well as prospective purchasers, thereby increasing the reach that we have through our publishing division. The marketing elements that we plan to utilize are simple things like newsletters, nurture campaigns. But through that and using the tools of Oracle's marketing solution, we have now the ability to create campaigns that are specific to the publisher's customers and prospects. It allows us to begin to create some key metrics from a lead scoring perspective. And more importantly for us, it allows us to sunset existing third-party systems like Sugar CRM, migrating those contacts directly into the marketing system. Sunset, act on, migrate those campaigns directly into Oracle's marketing automation system. It allows us then to begin now to create some metrics that gives us the opportunity to act and make good decisions as we move forward. Then lastly, our roadmap involves education. Now the reason we chose education to quote unquote last was because they are the biggest users of our current on-premise CRM for higher education system. And we wanted to ensure that we have things running very, very nicely for their transition. We clearly took a crawl, walk, and a run approach as it came to implementing the modern marketing module from Oracle. And we did that intentionally because we know that education has one of the highest paybacks with regards to targeting prospective and current students. It gives us the ability to better handle student applications and communications. It gives us the ability to really tightly integrate what we're doing from a campus solutions perspective to what we're doing from a marketing perspective. So the notions of advanced integration, lead scoring, closed loop reporting, all those things that are so critical for us as an institution as we better understand our prospects, our customers, we now have those tools with the tools that come to us through the marketing module. So what approach did we take? How did we make this thing come true in terms of going live? Well, one of the key things was that we had the ability to create custom fields. We did this specifically so that we could store historical data. There is key data from a historical past that is important to us. So we have now the ability through the product itself to store that. And we also have the ability to create key PeopleSoft integration points. The ability to do this was just, for us, perfect. It allowed us the opportunity to maintain historical data that we needed to continue to mine through. The key integration points that we're able to set up between the marketing cloud as well as the PeopleSoft on-prem was relatively painless. What we found was that this was a very nice, elegant, out-of-the-box solution for us. One of the things we had to consider, though, was security, and we are currently using out-of-the-box security, which for us anyway was pretty much snap and go, no big deal. But in the future, one of the things we want to look at is how do we set up contact security, because that's going to be important as we are going to have contacts that are exclusive between our 3 different business operating units. So we need to make sure that if a prospective donor who is a high-value donor is being worked on from a stewardship, a donor perspective, that donor is not being peppered with ask requests from our other divisions. We want to make sure we keep those guys segmented very specially. So from an integration point, we're really pleased with what we've been able to attain through Marketing Cloud. What we found is the email communications are truly a breeze. The forms integration is a snap. Went too far. Let me go back for a second. And lastly, campaigns have been, from a go-live perspective, very, very easy for us to pull off. Newsletters, no problem. Calls to action taking place. The ability to do A/B testing. These are things that we didn't have in our current off-the-shelf third-party systems, but yet this is what comes to bear with us from an out-of-the-box perspective as we look at Marketing Cloud, and we're pleased to be able to use those kinds of things. Some of the considerations that we wanted to take into effect was the fact that we need to make sure that we are adhering to the subscription and the spam laws that are out there. Finally, we have a subscription management tool that really does work. It has the ability to track unsubscribes, and now we have truly the ability to actively comply with the CAN-SPAM Act. We also allow our users the ability to manage their subscriptions. So as someone comes to a subscription page, they have the ability to opt in as well as opt out. It gives our end customers the ability to really control the level of interactions they're having with us as an institution. Really important for us from an administrative perspective. We also have the ability to track the websites and the pages that our constituencies are hitting. We certainly have the ability now to identify the popular pages that are leading us. We have the ability to identify the demographics and individuals that are coming through. These are the type of analytics that we were crying for, but were never able to accomplish. Through that, we have the ability to track exactly what's going on through our particular web pages. We have the ability to track simple things like where in the world is this individual coming from, what state, what country. The ability to have the built-in analytics with the Marketing Cloud are one of the key factors for our move there. The ability to have website traffic analysis, the top 10 pages, the top 10 entries, the top 10 exits, visitor click depth, how many page views are there for each visit. Again, these are some of the things that made for us a move to Marketing Cloud a key decision-making point. Some of the considerations we looked at were reporting and metrics, campaign analysis. Again, some of these things come to us right out of the box, whereas before we were shooting blindly. The ability to look at a live campaign, the ability to schedule emails with A/B testing, the ability to simply pull up an email performance dashboard. Again, all these things that you're looking at here are strictly right out of the box, no special configuration required on our part. And then the ability to set up complex campaigns, engagement campaigns, nurture campaigns. Practically impossible for us to do as we were looking at this from a CRM for higher education perspective. However, what we've discovered is it's easy to set these things up given the nature of the system that Oracle has built for us with Marketing Cloud. Some other considerations that we're looking at is that the whole integration effort with PeopleSoft CRM, because it's still operational here on the Prim. Currently, we're passing data one way from CRM to Marketing Cloud. We're passing such things as contact data. We're looking at doing data exports, simple Excel, that allows us to import that data directly into Marketing Cloud. We're utilizing PeopleSoft queries, audience lists, person search exports, simple tools that allow us then to populate data into the Marketing Cloud, which then gives us the ability to be very, very elegant in reaching out to the constituencies that we're trying to hit. Some of the things that we did upload, hard bounce data, unsubscribed data, contact data, all that through a pretty easy HTTPS or a secure FTP site, moving data directly into the marketing cloud was, for us, again, something that didn't require a whole bunch of effort from an IT perspective. It's a lot of work that our end users can do themselves. It allows us then to generate much more buy-in across our organization because it's such a far easier product for our customers to use. So that's it from a Moody perspective. Let me pass it on from there.
Thanks, John. So this is Joe again. That was very insightful. I hadn't actually heard your whole story, so I hope for everybody else it was valuable. I'm going to take 2 or 3 sides and just quickly discuss how Oracle Marketing Cloud, and specifically Oracle Marketing Cloud for Student Engagement, and fits into our overall cloud strategy in supporting higher education. So first, I think you've just picked up from John what we're really trying to enable for our customers with Oracle Marketing Cloud for student engagement. The ability to truly, provide relevant and targeted multi-channel or omni-channel outreach and interaction across, specific to each unique individual student. We're really focusing on how to bring in those social interactions, and those can be really tough for schools because there's a different social flavor every month that our students are using. To deliver contextual messages, not just content, but truly contextual messages, and to provide them with a way to actually demonstrate the value that marketing has for the institution and for each student and across that entire student life cycle. Oracle Marketing Cloud for Student Engagement and our student engagement solution fits into what we refer to as Oracle Student Cloud, and it's a really robust suite of cloud solutions, a lot that are currently available, some that are under development. Student engagement, you'll see running across the bottom here. Across the top of this slide, you see a high-level representation of everything that goes on in the student life cycle. Student engagement is designed, and we envision it supporting the entire student life cycle, from that initial outreach to a prospective student through alumni and fundraising. And it supports other activities and other solutions that further round out and enable that student experience, including student recruiting, advancement, and student services. And also, to be part of the Oracle Student Cloud will be a brand new cloud-based student information system we're calling Branding Student Management, and supplemented by a separate module to manage the complexities of financial aid. And Student Cloud then fits into our complete modern campus solution with complete cloud solutions for human capital management, student, and enterprise resource planning that obviously includes financials, strategic planning and budgeting, procurement, all those things that go on the financial side of the house. And all those are supported by a common platform, including Oracle Social Network, mobile capabilities, obviously the analytics that you just heard John touch on, and those deep integrations. So with that, I'm actually going to ask our colleague Bob Stewart from Apex IT just to talk for a couple of minutes around how they approach an implementation, because this is actually kind of a different shift as higher education start managing student experience as opposed to managing students, and maybe some things that they've learned from their engagement with Moody Bible about this. So Bob, can you tell us a little bit about this, and then we'll start taking questions from the Q&A room.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. So Apex IT is the partner that Moody Bible chose to help them with their Oracle Marketing Cloud implementation. We've been working with Moody for a number of years, and one of the things that we wanted to work with Moody on and we wanted to reinforce is the ease of implementation. And so John can attest to the fact that when we came in there, we really wanted to follow that model of crawl, walk, and run. One of the things that we see with a lot of customers is that they want everything and they want it right away, and that can sometimes cause problems down the road. So the model of crawl, walk, run has really worked well with Moody and with other customers that we've implemented Marketing Cloud for. And so we're really encouraged by the roadmap that Moody is taking to build out this overall marketing strategy for their entire institution, and not just for one aspect of it. And that's one of the things that we like to work with all of our customers with, is to sit down with them and try to identify first a roadmap of how to implement a solution like this, and whether this is just the Marketing Cloud piece, or if it's implementing the entire Student Cloud CX suite, including Marketing Cloud and Sales Cloud and Service Cloud. But we'd like to sit down with our customers, make sure that we identify the roadmap of what they want to accomplish and a timeline for getting those things accomplished. And then working with those customers to truly identify what's the most important aspect of that roadmap, and work with them to do that implementation over the course of however long we need to get it implemented in the proper fashion. Working with Moody, like I said, we had a long engagement with them, and we continue working with them and utilizing them for webinars like this to help talk about, number one, how good the tool is and how easy it is to implement across the higher education market.
Excellent, thanks. So we do have a few questions in the Q&A room. So I guess back to John, what advice do you have for others who may be thinking about implementing marketing technology? How do you approach this project, and how do you manage the change that's probably going along with it, I guess?
I think the most important thing from a Moody perspective, and one of the things that we learned, was that implementing a cloud-based solution is really different than implementing a on-premise solution. To implement our CRM for higher education took us up to about a year. To implement the first ability to be able to be effective with Marketing Cloud took us 4 weeks. So there's a whole different mindset with regards to moving into a cloud-based solution versus an on-prem solution. One of the things that you need to consider if you're looking towards a cloud-based solution such as this is there are lots of functionality that you want to be able to take advantage of that comes right out of the box. So seek to understand what your goals are that you're trying to accomplish. Try to understand and have outlined clearly what your marketing plan is, and then frame it within what comes out of the box. Don't look for a whole lot of custom extensions. Just take what you get, run with it hard, and adjust and adapt from there. That has provided for us a lot of success because of the difference in the products, this product being so much more robust than what we have on our on-prem solution, gave us the ability to simply take what was available to us out of the box and run hard. So that's it from my perspective.
Wow. Bob, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think John did a great job of summarizing, advice for institutions who are considering going to a new marketing technology. I think he did a great job of summarizing that. I echo everything that John said. So.
Okay. So, John, why do you think marketing was the right place for you to start your cloud, your journey to cloud?
As an institution, we are in the process of moving all our CRM on-prem applications to the Oracle-based solution set that is all cloud-based. The reason we chose marketing first was because, from our perspective, it was the pieces that had the lowest hanging fruit for us as an organization. For us, the ability to be highly effective in outreach, and define outreach in any way you want, whether that's outreach to student prospects, whether that's outreach to existing people that you're communicating with, whether that's outreach to donors, whatever the case may be, from an outreach perspective, this product brought us, with relatively little amount of startup time, the ability to be highly functional and highly effective in terms of organizing campaigns that meet the objectives for us as an institution. We're able to do things today at a far faster rate, at a far higher return in terms of what it takes to get something up and running than we could ever do before, which points us in a direction that says, here's how you can be highly effective. Here's how you can leverage technology to meet the needs of the organization. So why marketing? Lowest hanging fruit, greatest amount of payback, easily implemented for us, and we haven't taken a step backwards. We're continuing to move forward in that vein.
Excellent. So the follow-up question to that then, which actually flowed very well then, is how did you develop the business case for this?
So for us, we were looking at all the various pockets of the organization who were using CRM type of applications that were not part of our core set. They're not being part of the ERP, and we had to ask the question, why? Well, we found out why. Then we found that the Marketing Cloud could answer the why for those organizations. So for us to be able to consolidate all our data, to begin to move into one common platform to allow us now to have an opportunity to use the analytics and see what's happening to our constituency across the organization, for us, from an ROA perspective, that was where we needed to get to. That was where the pager is. If we can better understand the people that we're interacting with, we have an ability now to clearly and personalize an outreach message that makes sense for them. By so doing, we understand that we'll have a higher level of success in accomplishing the marketing goals that we have for us as an institution. That can't be done when you've got fragmented systems going across your enterprise. But when you bring all those fragments together, the return on bringing it together for us was a very, very short amount of time. The amount of time, energy, and effort that we spend within what's taking place with marketing in the cloud with our Oracle solution provides to us great reward, great benefit. We see continuing to move in the cloud with our CRM applications to be of great benefit for us as an organization moving forward.
Excellent. Well, that wraps up the last of the questions we had in the Q&A room. With that, I really want to thank both of you for being on with us today. It was insightful for me, and I hope it was for our audience. So thank you, John, and thank you, Bob. Do you guys have any closing comments you want to make?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to share what's happening here at Moody, Joe. Appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, no worries. And with that, thank you all for joining. And this is the second in a series of webinars that we're doing around CRM and constituent experience solutions for higher education that we're doing in conjunction with Apex. So you should be receiving some information shortly about the next one that'll be coming up sometime in the next couple of months. So with that, everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you.